Here we go. I'll be back. The Simpsons station wagon screeches to a halt to park at the Springfield Convention Center, and they all run out. The banner reads, "Boat Show today with celebrity guests Bob Denver, Henry Winkler, and Troy McClure, sponsored by Cheezios." Squeaky-voiced teen collects their tickets and hands out bags of Cheezios.
Enjoy your complimentary bag of new cheesier flavored cheese like Cheezios, sir.
Homer rips the bag open and pours the contents into his mouth.
Real cheese sand. More.
The Simpsons enter the convention center, which is filled with boats of all shapes and sizes.
Now you kids, stay with Grandpa.
Aw, do we have to?
Yes. No ifs, ands, or boats. Boats. Puns are funny.
Homer sees Henry Winkler leave the restroom.
Oh my gosh, look, it's the Fonz. Marge, get the camera. Fonzie, hey Fonzie.
Sir, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but would you please not call me Fonzie?
Oh, I understand. Sorry. Could I take a picture with you, Mr. Fonzarelli?
Yes, but I'm not Fonzie. That's just a fictional character I play on TV.
Let's take a really funny picture. Hey, I know. Let's stick Cheezios up our noses. 2 for me.
Homer slides 2 cheese puffs up his own nose and extends a pair to Henry Winkler.
And 2 for you.
Homer slides the pair of cheese puffs up Henry Winkler's nostrils. Catching him by surprise, he turns to Marge and smiles.
Say Cheezio.
Marge takes the photo and the 2 men pull the cheese puffs from their noses.
Thanks, Fozzie. Tell you what, give me your address in Milwaukee and I'll send you and Richie a copy.
Henry Winkler nervously backs away from Homer.
Excuse me, but they need me to go sign autographs at the yacht outside.
The yacht Amundo. Okay, Fonz, and after that, maybe you and me can go to Inspiration Point and, I don't know, talk?
Back away slowly. Avoid direct eye contact. Don't show teeth.
As Henry Winkler leaves, Barney appears.
Hey, Homer!
Barney, you have a Cheezio up your nose. Were you taking funny pictures too?
Funny pictures? No.
Barney takes out the Cheezio and looks at it.
So that's where it went. I lost that Cheezio hours ago. Well, I guess that explains the ants.
Barney brushes off a line of 6 ants off his face and shoulders. He shrugs and then eats the Cheezio. Cut to Bart in the driver's seat of a red speedboat with yellow flames, pretending to drive. Lisa appears.
Going to the bathroom.
Lisa takes a quick look around to see Grandpa sitting on a bench, teeth clenched.
There he is, on the bench. I thought. Oh.
Ralph approaches the speedboat.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Bart. That boat sure is red. Is it yours?
Not for long, man. Got a cellar. You interested?
I'm out of money. I spent my last quarter on this purple plastic egg.
Across the convention center, we see a machine that dispenses colorful plastic eggs with a whirring, spinning dino on top.
Yabba dabba do, here's a special egg for you.
Money, shmoney. I'll trade you my boat for your shirt.
Who's our money?
Ralph takes off his shirt. Bart hops out of the boat, takes the shirt, and stuffs it into his backpack.
You can pick up your boat before you leave. I'll leave you 2 lovebirds alone.
Bart leaves. Ralph and Lisa look at each other with an awkward pause, and Ralph proudly displays his egg.
I bought a purple plastic egg.
What'd you get inside?
You mean there's something in it?
Ralph fumbles to open the plastic egg. As he walks away, Marge, Maggie, and Homer appear.
Lisa, where are Bart and Grandpa?
I don't know. But are you aware that Bart is peddling boats to unsuspecting dimwits in exchange for their shirts in order to scoff them?
Scoffing, eh? Well, is that good or bad? Bad, huh?
Yes, Homer. Bad. Our son is taking advantage of people gullible enough to trade their own shirt for a boat.
Yeah, shirt for a boat. That's hard to believe.
Homer and Marge turn to see Grandpa shirtless.
Dagnabbit! Why, I can remember the day when your shirt could get you a whole bridge!
Oh, Grandpa, let's go get your sweater vests before you catch cold. Homer, go find Bart.
Boat, of course.
Homer and Lisa exit the showroom to the outdoor displays to see Bart selling boys' shirts with boat shows sloppily written on them with a marker. He collects cash from Chief Wiggum.
Here you go, Chief. Come again.
Ah, yes. Ralph is gonna love this.
Chief looks at the collar tag.
Hey, would you look at that? His name's already on it.
Bart pockets the money as Homer and Lisa appear.
Come here, boy.
The horn of a yacht distracts Homer. Ooh, big boat! Homer runs off to see the
I said that.
30-foot yacht. Lisa and Bart
Just didn't hear
follow.
me. All right.
Oh, that's okay.
Ralph! Grandpa! Saw you even tricked Barney out of his shirt.
Barney? I haven't even seen him today.
Cut to a shirtless Barney getting a poster signed by a beautiful yet repulsed boat show queen in a tiara. Barney bows.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Bart and Lisa join Homer and climb a ramp to board the yacht. They pass Smithers and Mr. Burns, who is contemplating buying the craft.
This dinghy would be perfect for my swimming pool, Smithers, but it's so puny. Imagine my shindigs. How would all of my friends fit?
I'm sure you can find room for one, sir.
Homer walks further and passes Henry Winkler, Bob Denver, and Troy McClure on deck, posing for a photograph to be taken by Professor Frink, who holds up the camera to Homer.
Sir, would you mind taking this for me?
Not at all. I need a camera.
Homer takes the camera and walks away.
Great Thor's hammer. I meant take the picture, not the camera.
Indian giver.
Homer returns. Professor Frink poses with Bob, Henry, and Troy. Professor Frink makes a Vulcan live long and prosper sign behind Troy McClure's head. Homer aims and clicks.
The lens cap was on.
Well, how do you turn it off?
Checking, Homer tilts the camera and clicks another photo.
Take the lens cap off, please.
Homer removes the lens cap, aims at the group, and clicks.
You turn the flash off. Press the big green button that says flash.
Homer tilts the camera towards himself and looks at it.
This small red button?
We hear another click as Homer takes a fourth photo.
No, the big green one marked flash.
From the mind of Minolta.
Homer presses the flash button, aims at the group, and clicks.
Your hand was in the way.
It was?
Homer tilts the camera up and in air clicks 3 more shots of himself in a row. The 3 shots of Homer's eye, his ear, and up his nose. Professor Frink stops posing and walks over to Homer.
Here, give me that. Get out of here.
As Homer hands the camera over to Frink, he accidentally clicks another 2 photos. Frink takes the camera, glaring at Homer as he exits. Frink aims the camera at the 3 celebrities.
Sorry, gentlemen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Professor Frink presses the button but inspects the camera.
Shazbot, out of film, guy.
Cut to Homer on the yacht with Bart and Lisa looking at white life preservers.
Wintergreen. Ooh, let's go check out the basement.
Homer, Lisa, and Bart walk down the stairs.
Cool.
Wow, you could live here. Fridge, stereo, chairs, floor.
He sees the sonar screen.
Small TV. I wonder if it's got cable.
He flips a few switches. The sonar screen turns on, shows a spinning radius of green light, a beeping blip in the shape of a boat, and a large fuzzy zigzag line.
Stupid sci-fi channel.
Homer looks across the control board.
No remote.
Homer makes a variety of clicking noises by pushing buttons, throwing levers, and turning dials. The boat starts, lunges, and pulls away from the dock. Atop the yacht, the sudden movement jolts Bob, Frink, Troy, and especially Henry Winkler, who becomes airbound and flies off of the yacht.
Hey!
Henry Winkler splashes into the ocean. As he slowly sinks, he sticks his thumbs out like Fonzie. We see only his thumbs like the end of Terminator 2. The yacht speeds away from the dock and out to sea.
Dad! And we're moving.
Way to go, Homer!
Bob Denver runs down the stairs to see Homer pushing buttons and turning dials in order to stop the boat.
What? What's going on? Are you nuts?
Bob Denver switches the throttle lever down and turns off the ignition.
I was just trying to change the channel.
Like, change the channel. Do you realize what you've done? You've just taken us out to the open sea without inspecting the craft and without proper provisions.
Relax. We'll be fine. Just as long as we don't get a sudden freak thunderstorm right about now.
Thunder booms, lightning cracks. Heavy rain pours, lightning strikes. Smithers and Mr. Burns rush to the stairs and descend.
What in blue blazes is going on?
They all stare at Homer.
Well, what ninny is responsible?
In his head,
Quick, blame someone else, but do it inconspicuously. Inco, what?
in his head,
I'm not sure. I was enriching my word power.
Well,
Easter May, Enver Day?
Mr. May Enver Day? What is this gobbledygook?
Easter May Enver Day? Me!
Oh, day.
the yacht jolts. Bob Denver runs to the controls, flips a few levers, and restarts the engine. He grabs the wheel. In the background, we see Frink and Troy run down the stairs. They are soaked.
The waves are getting larger.
Everybody sit down while I work this out.
Frink, Burns, Smithers, Homer, Troy, Lisa, Bart find room and sit down closely together. Bart notices Troy McClure.
Hey, man. You look familiar.
I sure do. I'm Troy McClure. You may recognize me from such movies as 101 Dalai Lamas, Macarena Express, or It's a Mad, 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 Mad Cow.
Oh, we recognize you as our former Uncle Troy, the guy who married our Aunt Stella for the media exposure.
No, that's not it. I recognize you as the star of that show about the male model who lives with a cow.
Yes, cattle call. Thank you. Boy, I tell you, that cow suit was uncomfortable.
Bob Denver studies the sonar screen and gasps. He taps the screen and turns to his fellow passengers.
Everybody hang tight.
He clicks a few switches and turns the wheel.
Listen up. I have some good news and some really bad news. An incredibly mammoth wave capable of turning over and destroying this ship is heading our direction.
And the bad news?
Massive 100-foot wave rushes towards the yacht. The yacht turns. The big wave picks up and lifts the ship. Everyone falls or slides as the yacht slowly rotates. The Poseidon Venture love theme, The Morning After, is played. The steering wheel spins. Lightning strikes the ship, but rain and waves continue to toss the ship. The screen spins as it does in Gilligan's Island series introductory theme. Dissolved to Grandpa and Maggie, plus other boat shore guests seeking shelter from the sudden storm. Paramedic 1 and Paramedic 2 carry Henry Winkler into the sheltered area. Marge stands in the rain alone, looking out to sea. The storm has cleared. Mr. Burns, Smithers, Troy McClure, and Professor Frank recover from the rubble and wrecked yacht on the island. Bart and Lisa crawl to Homer, and they huddle together. Bart leans over to Bob Denver.
The yacht's been shipwrecked. We're on a deserted island. You gotta do something, man.
Me? Why me?
Hello? Because you're Gilligan?
What? Listen, kid. I'm not really Gilligan.
Bart, leave him alone. I think you're extremely confused.
Thanks, little girl.
Anytime, Gilligan. No offense. Bart doesn't realize that your inefficient and puerile ways will most likely interfere with any rescue attempts.
What? I'm not Gilligan.
The tattered Smithers approaches Bob Denver, Bart, and Lisa.
Everyone okay over here?
Yes, I was just explaining to Gilligan here that we want his help.
You're confusing real actors with the fictional characters they play on TV. He just plays Gilligan.
You're right. What was I thinking?
It's okay. It happens all the time. And thanks for clearing this up.
Anytime, Maynard G. Krebs, sir.
Frank pulls the transmitter radio out from the wrecked yacht.
Everybody, your attention. The news.
Daytime Emmy broadcast tonight. But first, just sit tight back and you'll hear a tale that ends in death. 7 passengers set sail today for what could have been a 3-hour tour. Repeat, a 3-hour tour.
Blah, blah, blah. Turn on some tunes. We're missing Breakfast with the Bengals.
Boat did not return. Mayor Quimby has assigned Chief Wiggum to organize a rescue party.
The chief of police! We're saved!
The castaways look at each other without confidence. Dissolved to Lou and Chief Wiggum, who blows a whistle, releasing 4 howling bloodhounds that run to the water. One enters and sinks. A second dog enters and paddles a bit before gently swallowed whole by a shark. The last dog rolls on a dead fish. Panda Barney next to the dog, shirtless, also on his back, rolling on a dead fish.
Maybe we should get those hounds some scuba gear.
Sure, Chief, but will scuba do?
Scuba do? Yes. Puns are funny.
Marge, holding Maggie, walks up to Chief Wiggum.
Excuse me, Chief Wiggum? Don't you have any boats?
I'm afraid not. Unless I use the one my son Ralph bought today.
Intercut with Ralph in a shirt with boat show written on it. He's sitting in the red speedboat pretending to drive it. The engine starts and Ralph seems to drive backwards. Cut wide, we see the boat is being towed out of the center. Ralph is oblivious and smiling.
What about helicopters? Aren't there any police department helicopters?
We have 2, but we lent them both to Fox Studios. They're filming a new McBain movie out there in Springfield Gorge.
Cut to a director, assistant director, FX man, and a small camera crew filming a scene at the gorge. 2 helicopters land safely, and then suddenly the stuntman is blown out of the cockpit to the feet of McBain. McBain is aiming a flamethrower at stuntman.
Pleased to meet you. Won't you guess my flame?
McBain ignites the stuntman, who flops around in flames.
Hey, good looking. What's cooking? You are.
A boom microphone swings into view and hits his head.
Ow, what the?
Cut wide to show the film crew filming the scene.
Cut. Adjust boom. Let's reshoot after lunch.
The stuntman is doused with a fire extinguisher. The stuntman stands up and laughs at McBain. A flaming piece of helicopter falls to the ground, reading Springfield PD.
What about all the showboats?
Groundskeeper Willie listens in.
We inquired, but nobody is willing to take their own boat out in such rough water. Rough! 'Tis just a wee puddle! You wave-dodging pussycats!
He rips off his shirt and crouches his muscular torso down to his bare back to Marge.
Keep up, lassies! I'm taking you myself! Just hang tight to me, look, right here on me back!
Couldn't we just take your boat?
Aye, me vessel. 'Tis not nearly as rousing, but it'll do.
Dissolved to the castaways sitting on rocks, logs, in the ground of an island clearing.
Time to find us. I suggest that we make preparations for camp and, most importantly, keep our spirits high.
Spirits?
Dad! We need to keep up the morale, for there are the times that try men's souls. What a Thomas Paine.
Pain?
Dad! We need some cheering up.
You're right, sweetheart. And I know just what we need to cheer us up. Excuse me, Mr. Denver.
Huh? Mr. Denver? You didn't call me Gilligan, you called me Mr. Denver?
But of course, Mr. Denver, that's who you are. Will you sing your hit song, Rocky Mountain High, for us?
What? Listen, I'm not John Denver, I'm Bob Denver.
John, Bob, tomato, tomato.
May I have your attention? We must establish work duties. Professor, you try to fix the yacht, and Mr. Burns, you look for fresh water. Smithers, you build some shelter. Troy, you gather wood. Mr. Denver, you make some hammocks. My dad, Bart, and I will gather food.
They all groan at the prospect of working.
Can't we just sit here and wait till they come rescue us?
No! We must prepare ourselves. As written in Iliad, toll is the lot of all, and bitter woe the fate of many.
Who said that one?
Homer.
I did? I must have been drunk when I said that.
What is everyone standing around for? Let's get going.
An exhausted Troy confronts Lisa.
We can't without you quoting everybody, you bookworm. How about this one? Some for renown on scrapes of learning dotem, and they think they grow immortal as they quote. Edward Young.
Lisa runs into her dad's arm for support.
Oh yeah? How about this one? Sit on it. Fonzie.
Homer guards Lisa and they walk away with a proud smile.
Say, Dad, thanks.
Don't thank me, sweetie. Thank Fonzie. We can all learn a lot from him. In fact, I wonder what Fonzie's up to now.
We cut to Springfield Hospital. Henry Winkler's in the hospital bed, shivering and pale with a tube extending from his arm to a beeping monitor with green running lights. Dr. Hibbert is checking a chart. The monitor turns off. The beeping and lights stop. Dr. Hibbert takes notice as Henry Winkler starts to gasp.
Uh-oh. Nurse!
He shakes his head in confusion. Henry Winkler's shivering hand makes a fist and rubs it on the monitor as if hunting for a certain spot. He stops, pounds his fist, and the display comes back on.
You're so cool.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So we cut to the island. Homer, Lisa, and Bart are walking down a path surrounded by thick vegetation and palm trees.
Oh, where are we going to find something to eat? This stuff doesn't grow on trees, you know.
Lisa's reflecting sunlight off a mirror to the sky.
What are you doing?
Tempting to signal aircraft with the sunlight's reflection using this mirror I took from your shoe.
Ooh, let me try.
He takes the mirror from Lisa, tilts it, and turns it unintentionally towards his own head. Smoke appears as Homer burns a small dot. Lisa takes the mirror back.
And what if nobody ever finds us?
Yeah? What if we're stuck here forever?
Bart and Homer close their eyes and drift off into a daydream where they relax in the hammocks, drinking from coconuts and watching TVs powered by a monkey on a bamboo bicycle.
No school.
No work.
They suddenly snap out of it and look at the mirror Lisa is using. They lunge at her to fight to take it from her to stop her, but Lisa fights them off.
Stop! Maggie and Mom.
Cut to Marge at the dock. Groundskeeper Willie unties his 12-foot boat from the dock and pulls up the anchor. Officer Lou and Chief Wiggum are on board.
Please, please, be careful.
Fret not, lassie! Don't worry, Mrs. Simpson. We'll find them and we'll be back. Nuff of your tittle-tattling, you stick-creeping, flat-footed stowaway. We've serious work to do.
As the boat pulls away, Officer Lou waves to Marge. Chief tries to wave as well, but can't because of tight orange inflatable squares around his arms.
Floaties are a bit tight.
The boat goes out to sea. Chief Wiggum peers into a white bucket and grimaces. He dumps the bucket of fish parts into the sea, replaces the bucket upside down and sits. A gargantuan shark head pops out of the water and with a toothy open mouth. Chief Wiggum lunges up with an expression similar to Roy Scheider's Chief Brody character in Jaws. The shark swallows the entire boat without any difficulty. Cut to the three sets of eyes darting around in the dark. Groundskeeper Willie lights a match, and he, Chief Wiggum, and Officer Lou see the shark's rib cage.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Dissolve to the island where the castaways sit around a fire with coconut shells and banana peels on the ground and 3 huts in the background.
Bread, fire, shelter, food. We all pulled together, worked as a team, and in the words of Francis Bacon,
They all groan in disgust, mutter goodnight, and scatter to their huts.
It's okay, Lisa. I'd love to hear more about Francis Bacon.
really?
Sure. Is Francis Bacon as good as America's bacon?
He rubs Lisa's head, and the triangles of her hair flap back in place like a shuffled card deck. Homer and Lisa follow Bob Denver and Bart to their hut. Lisa and Bart climb into their small homemade hammocks. The moonlight is bright. Homer tucks them in.
Good night, Lisa. I don't tell you this enough, but I am so proud of you. How you remained calm, took charge and stuff.
Thanks, Dad. Good night.
He kisses Lisa on the cheek, and then he leans down to Bart in the hammock below her.
And Bart, I really like your pet tarantula.
Bart's frozen in fear as he notices a tarantula on his chest.
I love you too, son.
Homer and Bob Denver meet at their bunk hammocks.
You know, I'm overwhelmed that nobody has bothered to mention how outright, inconceivably ironic the day's events have obviously been for me.
I don't follow.
Never mind. But you know, I'm sick of the top hammock. For once, just once, I'd like to have the bottom.
Sure thing, little buddy.
Bob Denver slides into the bottom hammock and is content. He closes his eyes to sleep. Homer climbs into the top hammock, which holds upon initial impact, but slowly droops down and completely covers Bob Denver.
Good night, Mr. Denver.
Good night.
Homer's wide awake. He looks on the ground and sees a pineapple with an abnormally long, leafy top. His point of view is imagining the pineapple slowly morphing into an image of Marge with the leafy top as her hair.
Oh, look, it's Marge. Hey, Marge, can you hear me?
Intercut with Marge in bed, her tired, half-closed eyes open wide as she looks out the window.
Homer?
I miss you and Maggie so much. Please don't worry. Just know that I will take care of Lisa and the boy.
Oh, homie.
And remember that I'm thinking of you. Right now, I see your head on the floor.
Her eyes widen.
Pleasant dreams, my sweet pineapple.
Dissolved to the island at dawn, Smithers and Burns with his teddy bear Bobo sleep in the bunk hammocks. Troy sleeps in the top. The bottom one's empty. Bart and Lisa and Homer are sleeping. Homer's hammock has dropped so low that it's touching the ground with Bob Denver smothered beneath him. Frink is outside with assorted scientific-looking stuff.
Everybody, wake up! Wake up!
Bart, Lisa, and Homer get out of the hammocks and run out of the hut. A white, shaking, clenched hand rises from Bob Denver's hammock. Homer, Lisa, Bart, Burns, and Smithers gathers around Frink and his makeshift lab. Troy sits on a log listening to the radio.
Attention, please. Last night, I fused together the precise amounts of the last nitranium-based vegetation in order to produce this minor feat in biological engineering that will save our lives.
Boring.
I won't go into great detail involving the properties, but when I add salt water to this synthetic resin I've developed, we will.
He picks up and inspects the empty bowl. He tilts it, and one small neon green droplet drips out.
My nitanium resin. It's the bowl. Empty? How? It was here. Why would someone take?
Everyone loses interest and leaves as Frink is confused. Scan to Homer, licking the last bit of green goo off his finger.
Mmm, scientifically delicious.
Scan to Troy, listening to the radio.
Hey, listen to this, everyone.
Due to unsafe sea conditions and a lack of resources, Mayor Quimby has called off the search for the doomed boat, not show guests.
They all gasp and show signs of distress.
And in entertainment news, Susan Lucci lost the Daytime Emmy again last night, bringing her losing streak to a
Troy McClure clicks off the radio.
This is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah, Lucci really deserves to win.
Mr. Burns and Smithers, Bob Denver, Troy McClure, and Professor Frink react in shock or sadness to the news that the search has been called off. Homer, Lisa, and Bart sit together on a log.
Bart, Lisa, now I don't want you kids to get discouraged or start to lose hope or even get scared, because I want you to know that as your father and protector, I'm going to be here for you as we slowly die.
The kids look at each other. Scan to Mr. Smithers and Burns. Smithers is distracted, lost in a daydream. The scene is reminiscent of the Blue Lagoon. Island flower in his hair. Smithers gazes at Mr. Burns as he spears a fish. A tattered animal skin reveals the viral chest of Mr. Burns. Smithers rubs his pregnant belly.
Smithers! Smithers!
He shakes the smiling Smithers out of his daydream.
Smithers, who is that rabble-rouser?
Homer J. Simpson, sir. One of your plant employees, Sector 7G.
Simpson, eh? Why, he's not at work. Be sure to dock him. I wonder if the other employees are coping with my absence.
Cut to the power plant, to courting music and clapping. Festive employees spin arm in arm around dancers like some extravagant wedding. Plates are broken, some are tossed up and shattered by gunfire. Pan the party atmosphere to see four mice with cigars playing poker. Carl in shades in a dress shirt slides into view to the dun 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 old time rock and roll as in risky business. Lenny splashes crusty aftershave onto his face, slaps his face with both hands and screams. Cut to the Simpsons kitchen. Marge feeds Maggie in her high chair as they listen to the radio.
sudden death storm produced giant waves, death waves, if you will, with enough force to rip a ship and its contents to pieces. We now return to your original music programming.
The radio plays the OJ's Rock the Boat with familiar lyrics, rock the boat, but rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat, don't flip the boat over. Marge clicks the radio off. Click.
Maggie, you have to eat. Open wide, open wide. Yum, yum. Come on, Maggie. Here comes the helicopter. Krusty?
Cut to Krusty's office building. Krusty's behind the desk, sitting opposite the blue-haired lawyer.
Class action suit my eye. There's not one Krusty product that is dangerous.
True. There's 91. Let's start with the small parts choking hazard on your Krusty baby pacifier.
He tosses a foot-thick report to Krusty, who leaps through it. On his desk, a telephone shaped like Krusty's head rings. The clown nose flashes red light with each ring as Krusty ignores it. After the second ring, the phone clicks and an answer machine message starts with Krusty's voice.
You've reached the office of Krusty.
The voice warps slowly, then speeds up. Sparks fly off the phone unit. The nose catches fire.
Hey! This is the new model with the built-in cigar lighter.
Krusty quickly takes a cigar from the box on his desk and lights it with the nose fire, then picks up a rag to answer the phone.
Cigar lighter, eh? This looks suspiciously like the candle lighters in your Krusty shout radios.
Krusty here.
Hello, Krusty? I need the help of a rich and powerful person with a good heart.
Well.
Do you know any personally?
Dissolved to the island, Homer, Bart, and Lisa sit on a log and eat breakfast. Banana peels, coconut shells litter the ground.
I'm sick of eating bananas, man.
Yeah, and pineapples.
Yeah, and coconuts.
Yeah, and snails.
Snails?
Oh, I was just kidding.
Homer quickly kicks away 7 empty snail shells out of sight.
Say, kids, why don't we sharpen some sticks and catch some fish?
Yeah, man. Great idea, Homer.
Yeah, great. Yet you guys fail to remember that I am a vegetarian and I don't use or eat animal products.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you understand, Dad.
Of course I understand, sweetheart. Some people eat meat, and other people are freaks.
Dad!
Oh, Lisa, I'm just teasing. I know you do it for political, spiritual, environmental, and health reasons, and I respect that.
Thanks, Dad.
Homer and Bart turn to each other quickly.
Freak! Freak!
I heard you.
Oh, pumpkin, I was just teasing again.
Homer turns quickly to Bart again, opens his mouth to speak, but then turns back to Lisa.
Cover your ears, sunshine.
Cut to the ocean. A helicopter flies above the ocean surface, sun behind it. Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries plays as in Apocalypse Now. The pilot is singing along with the theme.
Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Pilot, stay on course.
Dissolved to the island, Homer and Bart walk past the shipwrecked yacht to the shore, carrying long sticks over their shoulders. Lisa follows. Homer whistles the Andy Griffith theme. Track to Headhunter 1 and Headhunter 2 in native dress, makeup, and bones in their noses.
Akawala.
Headhunter 2 smiles. He has no front teeth.
Erkdang Luko Ola Ola Ola.
A pig squeals. The headhunters look down to see a wild boar running away. They chase it off screen, giggling. Homer and the kids reach the lagoon.
Here we are, boy. Now let's sharpen these sticks.
Homer sits down and gnaws on one end of the stick. Bart joins in and gnaws on his stick. Lisa sighs, climbs a small rock, and looks out to sea. Her eyes widen as she stands up.
Dad, there's a trunk. A trunk.
Homer stops gnawing and looks out. He spits out wood.
A trunk? A trunk! We're saved! We're saved!
Homer wades into the water and pulls out the floating trunk onto the beach. He pulls out a top hat, a Lone Ranger mask, a hatchet, a rainbow wig. Homer pulls out a Groucho Marx glasses and a fake nose and a cigar.
Look at all of these costumes. You know something? We can all work together and build a stage. And we can put on a big variety show. Troy can act. Mr. Denver can sing Rocky Mountain High. And I can do my impressions.
Homer slaps on the Groucho Marx glasses, pops a cigar in his mouth, and stands up.
I shot an elephant while I was wearing my pajamas.
Lisa and Bart shrug. Homer returns to the trunk and pulls out a Harpo Marx wig, hat, and horn, and puts it on.
Hey, boys and girls, it's me, Harpo Marx. Take my wife, for example, please.
He's acting like he did when he ate that bag of rock candy he found in his new shoes.
Dad, we're not having a variety show. That's ridiculous.
Homer pulls out a Mr. T Mohawk wig and puts it on.
But Lisa, I pity the fool. Doesn't put on a variety show.
Lisa kicks the trunk and the lid slams down while she tears off Homer's wig.
Dad, snap out of it.
Homer starts to weep.
I'm sorry to be so harsh, Dad, but we really need your focus and your guidance right now.
Oh, it's okay. But can you reopen the trunk so I can get something out?
What's that?
My fingers!
Lisa notices that Homer's hands are in the closed trunk, so she reopens it. Homer takes out his throbbing fingers and sucks on them.
Dad, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, sweetheart. You really opened my eyes.
Literally.
Okay, troops. Let's go. Bart, you take that hatchet from the trunk, get the guys together, and get some wood for a raft. Lisa, you collect vines so we can tie the logs together. And I'll use the mirror and try to signal for help.
Wow, Dad, I'm really impressed.
Lisa gives Homer the mirror and runs off with Bart. Homer sits on a log and tilts the mirror up to reflect light.
What else can I do?
Unknowingly, the beam of light shifts left and the dead palm tree begins to burn.
Let's see. What would Fonzie do to get off this island?
Homer drifts off into a daydream and seeing a ramp facing the ocean. Fonzie starts his motorcycle, revs his engine, speeds towards the ramp, up it into the air, clears the entire sea, landing at the boat show and crashing into a booth reading Arnold's Fried Chicken. He's covered in fried chicken. Homer snaps out of his daydream.
Fried chicken. A la Fonz.
The palm tree is now on fire. Homer is oblivious.
No. It's not what Fonzie would do. It's what Homer J. Simpson would do. I might not be as cool, but my kids are depending on me. I'm determined. I'm capable, and nothing, and I mean nothing, can get in my way.
A huge portion of lit palm tree falls and surrounds Homer with a circle of fire.
What the? Why, you little...
Homer stretches out his hands to strangle the fire, but pulls back after feeling the heat. He sucks on his fingers and looks for an exit he cannot find.
Stupid fire.
He kicks his foot in disappointment. The sand he kicks flies out into the fire and smothers out a small portion.
Huh?
He kicks again. The sand spreads, putting out a flame. He kicks again more cautiously to see the same result. He then spins wildly, kicking in every direction. Sand flies about and there's a dust cloud. Once the dust cloud settles, Homer sees that he successfully has put out the circle of fire, all except the shoebox-sized flame. Homer bends down and coughs out a quart of sand to put it out.
Yes! Who's stupid now? Huh, fire? Huh? Come on, answer me. Hello? I'm talking to you, fire.
Everyone else notices the lit palm tree, which is igniting the one next to it. Homer runs into view and Frink points him out.
You're undoubtedly responsible for this conflagration.
If that fire spreads, we're done for, just like in my movie, Inferno Affairs.
Homer looks up to the sky.
Well, maybe we can fan out of the flames with those helicopter propellers.
Helicopter? Poppycock. There's no...
Burns is interrupted by a helicopter. The wind generated knocks him off his feet. The crowd clears to allow the helicopter to land. From the hut, Bomb Denver rises from the hammock, still covered by the other hammock. He listens to the helicopter and runs out. The castaways all cheers. The helicopter engine shuts off. The blades come to a stop, and the helicopter door opens with Marge running out, holding Maggie.
Marge! Maggie?
Mom!
Bart, Lisa, and Homer run to Marge and Maggie as they hug. Behind them, Ricardo Montalban steps out of the aircraft in an impeccable white suit.
Hey, it's Ricardo Montalban. You may recognize him from Sombrero, Climax, or Love Boat Babies.
Greetings. I am delighted to see you. Are all safe? And I invite you all for a ride back to Springfield.
Mom, you know this dude?
Well, actually, Krusty does. They share an agent.
Yes, Krusty knew I was in town filming the new McBain movie, and that I had in my possession his helicopter he had lost to me in a poker game. And
Hold it. Slow down. McBain? You're in the new McBain movie?
yes, I play the villain, Tuscadero, an elephant poacher and ivory dealer.
How do you die, man?
Bart! It isn't polite to ask Ricardo Montalban how he dies.
I don't mind, Mrs. Simpson. McBain pierces me with an elephant's tusk.
Whoa, Mama! And what does McBain say?
You want the tooth? You can't handle the tooth.
Ricardo and Bart laugh together.
Excuse me, Mr. Montalban, but how did you find us?
Young lady, I am afraid that we would not have spotted this tiny island if not for your brilliant smoke signal.
Ricardo points to the trees as they burn out.
That's my fire. You mean I saved us?
Oh, Homer.
Marge kisses Homer, then spits out some sand. Bart, Lisa, Troy, Smithers, and Frink gather around the Homer cheering. They try to pick him up, but struggle with his weight, suddenly stop cheering and give up. The crowd breaks up. Lisa runs to hug Homer. Ricardo looks around, inspecting the island.
Small, enchanting, remote. Yes, at last I have found the perfect site for my fantasy island.
Fantasy Island?
Yes, my company plans to build an island resort where the fantasies of our guests become realities.
Fantasy? Do you mean like wishing for something? Like donuts?
Yes, Mr. Simpson, like donuts. And we knew you'd all be hungry.
Ricardo claps his hands, and a dark-haired short man in an identical white suit appears from the helicopter with a large platter of various donuts for Homer.
Here, boss.
Donuts! Woohoo!
Jellies, cakes, bear claws. I am curious, Mr. Simpson. Which will you select first?
The plane! The plane!
The short man rolls his eyes, and Homer grabs a plain donut and devours it. The others pick up a donut and eat. Ricardo puts his arm around Homer.
Ah, I relish such an exemplary and gratifying happy ending.
Happy ending? Happy ending. I know.
He runs to Bob Denver, who flinches at Homer's sight.
Mr. Denver, how about that song?
What?
Your song, Rocky Mountain High. Sing it for us, Mr. Denver, please.
Bob Denver glares at Homer.
Listen, I already told you. I'm not.
He looks at Burns and Smithers, who are
I'm not-
smiling in anticipation.
I'm not. Well.
He
I'm
looks at
Bob.
everyone, and they're all smiling, so he just sighs. He shrugs his shoulders and begins singing.
Rocky Mountain High.
Homer sings along, then Ricardo sings along, and they all join in and sing along into the credits.
Rocky Mountain.
Hi.
Colorado.
I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. I know he'd be a poor man if he never saw an eagle fly. Rocky Mountain High, the Colorado Rocky Mountain High. I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Friends around the campfire, everybody high. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. Rocky Mountain High.